Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you very much for your questions.
Frank's back.
Frank is back. We've had some internet connections problems, haven't we, with both of the French guests? But apparently it's sorted now.
French guests.
Well, they are French and they're our guests. That's all right, isn't it? I think that's the right. If you can chuck me the questions, that's fine. Because apparently they've been reviewed. Here we go. Thank you very much.
We never. This, after all these years, that's never a seamless process.
Nothing is seamless about this show.
Getting somebody the questions. No matter who's presenting the show, it never seems to go seamless. Yet it's never brought up at production meetings.
We don't have production meetings.
And that's why it's never brought up.
Here we go. First question, Frank. Will Frank still not favour Real Madrid next year for the Champions League with Mbappe? Of course, Frank went viral with a video someone put together of him saying lots of bad things against Real Madrid on the show over the last couple of months.
Yeah, and I'm going to carry on saying that as long as they don't play the way I want them to see them playing. But the thing is, can you tell me, if you know a little bit of football, and I talk a lot with all my friends, what they think about Real Madrid? They don't even understand, how they can reach the Champions League final. But they say the spirit is fantastic. The way they play is not good. But with Mbappe, of course, it's going to be better. Of course, it's going to be better. And but as Craig said during the show, they will have to sort some problems out, especially in the middle of the park with some players aging, but also maybe in central defense. So we saw again. What his name? The central defender who made a mistake during the weekend against Cadiz. Militao, thank you very much. Well, in that level, according to all the fans of Real Madrid, I think it's why maybe I never played for Real Madrid, because I was able to make mistakes like Militao, but you never seen that from Sergio Ramos or even Varane at the time. So I think it's possible with Mbappe that they get better, but they will have to sort some problems out.
Not only does he hate Real Madrid, he doesn't even know the player's name.
I know, just such disregard that he shows to Real Madrid. It's disgusting from Frank. Frank, but
it's a lost. I can't win with you. I can't win with you. But
you'll be supporting Real Madrid though, surely, because they've got more of a French contingent.
I'm not a fan. I don't support any team. I watch football and I'm a football lover, but I don't support any team. I'm not like that. I've never been like that. I never asked for any autographs. Never in my life. I'm not that type of person.
Wait, didn't you get Rudiger's shirt when you watched the Chelsea game? What was that? The final of the Carabao Cup or the semi-final? Didn't you get his shirt?
Yeah, because it's part of my collection, but it's something special. But it doesn't mean that next year he's going to play for Real Madrid, and if he's bad, I'm going to say that he's bad. That's not a problem. It's not because he gave me a shirt, That's what it is. And that's my job. If I say that everybody's nice, if I say that Real Madrid plays well, you're going to say the guy is a liar. I would be a liar if I would say that Real Madrid plays well.
Did you hear Frank is getting a stadium named after him this weekend?
What?
Indeed.
Go on. Where, Frank?
Well, a little village close to Paris, Saint-Souplé. But I have whatever. The mayor loved me, and he said, I want to name the stadium after you. I said, whatever. Okay, if you want to.
Juls,
so it's got a bit of a ring to it, the Fabien Barthez Stadium.
A disappointment, but it's Frank, not Fabian.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is.
How many seater stadium is it, Frank? Or is it just a couple of bleachers?
How many what?
How many people can it have?
4.
Well, my family, and that's it.
Oh, nice. Very good.
I don't know. 1,000, 2,000 maybe. I don't know.
Oh, he knows.
He's counted them.
Yes, exactly. You have anything named after you?
A couple of dogs.
Craig, who has a better overall squad, Arsenal or Spurs?
Oh. Squad. Oh, I don't know. Well, what we do know is they have a bona fide coach.
Right.
Spurs. Maybe Arteta will turn into that man. You can agree and disagree about the styles, but he's a bona fide coach. It's a difficult one. We know they've got the two best players, Son and Kane, but I don't know. That's the boys.
Well, it's for you.
I'm probably going to say, with Kulusevski and Bentancur, Spurs.
Spurs?
Yeah.
Jules?
I agree with Craig in the sense that I think it's hard to apart from the two world-class players, of course, that Spurs have, that Arsenal don't have in Kane and Son, who would start for any team in Europe by far, and Arsenal don't have those kind of players. If you take out Kane and Son, which is a bit unfair already, so I guess the answer is Spurs, but if you take them out, I think the rest is pretty level and pretty similar with the pros and the cons, the flaws and the qualities that those two squads would have. Again, without Kane and Son, I think he's it. Obviously, Arsenal are younger, much younger, which is a quality and a flaw. And for Spurs, you've got certainly a bit more experience. But yeah, I think they're pretty similar. But again, Kane and Son, I think, obviously makes Spurs eventually better.
The answer to the question is actually Manchester United.
Oh.
When you look at these two, right, and the problems that they've had, and you look at the United squad, I'm not saying, but it's better than...
On paper, yeah.
Yes.
But that's not the question.
Underachievers, that's the answer.
That's the answer, isn't it? Okay.
Then it makes your head wobble even more to think the position that they are in, right? And the fact that they...
How do we get this onto anti-Manchester United?
Well, no. I look at Spurs and Arsenal, and particularly Arsenal start to the season and the squad they've got, an inexperienced manager, youngsters. I look at Spurs, the problems they had, sacked a manager, Conte crying during some of it, all this sort of thing. And I think, how the hell can Man United not be above these two, having spent the amount of money that they have? It just makes it even more incredible how bad they have been. Honestly, I can't. It's not like they've been beaten out by 4 magnificent teams at the top. Magnificent 4 teams have seen Man United. No, and it just makes it even more incredible how underachieving they have been.
Jules, how do you feel about Neymar not inviting you to his party after PSG won the Ligue 1? Neymar's party without Jules is like a body without a soul. Wow.
That's right. I was just not available. I'm sorry. I had other commitments already. If you tell me the last minute, how can I come from London to Paris when I already have stuff? So unfortunately, they had to do without me. But I'll be there next season. I said once they win the Champions League without Kylian, which will be amazing. But this time, I mean, come on, give me a bit more notice next time. Yeah.
You live in that dream, Jules.
That's fair.
Was it filmed at all for a documentary?
I don't know. With Shaka going, this is why.
So, did you see him yesterday sitting at Newcastle?
Yeah, wasn't it brilliant? It was very cool. No, it's nice. He got a nice reception.
Did he? I didn't see that. But I just see the camera cut him up a couple of times.
Yeah.
And he sat there looking like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth.
I know, exactly.
Like I thought, any chance I'm coming back to do some work or what? Waltzing around getting the freedom of a city.
I know. It's not bad. When are you going to get the freedom of Glasgow?
Good dear. When they string me up.
Frank, you've been reverted back to an up-and-coming football player. You have the choice to go to any football academy in the world. Where would you go and why?
Well, that's a tough question. You always go in a club where you feel they will have a chance to play. And it's funny that, but Paris Saint-Germain gives a big chance to play to every young player. The problem is they don't stay because they don't have more time, I would say, in the squad. But I don't know. I wouldn't go to a big club because I think you have to have the chance to play. So I wouldn't go to a big club. But I don't know. I can't name a club right now like that.
That of course, is a very sensible answer, and it's something that I went through in my thought process when I was 14, 15, and I think a lot of youngsters make this mistake. Is if you think about Scottish football, it's youngsters, they're growing up, it's Celtic and Rangers. I want to be there, but the likelihood is you're going to get less of a chance to make the grade there than you are at, say, like a Dundee or an Aberdeen or Dundee United. And the same in England. And certainly for me, growing up, one of the things I looked at, I went to some lower league clubs as well as, you know, Tottenham and Arsenal and Chelsea, and I went to Stoke City and others, because the thinking is, right, and even more so now with the money, and less so back in the 80s and 90s, is that the chances of you coming through and being in that first team, not impossible, but you have to be really, really, really good.
Right.
Whereas at other clubs, you can come through and the process can be slower, and you can fall over a few more times, pick yourself up, and not get thrown out. Sometimes at these big clubs, the baby gets thrown out with the bathwater, and some players are actually good enough, but they just mature at a later date. And I think a lot of players make that mistake. Youngsters, their parents push them into, go and sign for Liverpool and City and United, and actually going and signing for, you know, maybe like an Everton or a Wolves or whatever country you're playing in, is going to be more beneficial long term. It hasn't got the gravitas as a 16-year-old. I've signed for Manchester United or Liverpool. Look at me. Well, look at you 3 or 4 years later when you can't get a game. So it is a very important decision for youngsters to make, going to the right place where they've got an opportunity, rather than going to the place where they can tell the mates, I've signed for that club.
How old were you when you went to Chelsea?
I was literally just turned 16, which is the age you had to be for them to bring you from Scotland.
Right.
And Chelsea were not the club.
And then how many around you in that academy actually made it through? Oh, really?
Yes.
It was a strong side.
But we had lads from, nowadays you have people from pretty much all over the world in the academies, but it was just pretty much the UK and Ireland then. But for example, the FA Cup final in '94, there was Frank Sinclair, Eddie Newton and myself played in it. Jason Cundy came through, Nathan Blake came through, Welsh international, Graham Stewart came through, went on to play at Everton, and there's more.
Right.
A lot of those guys came through because they were at Chelsea back then. They were given the opportunity to play in the first team,
right, and
then some of them moved on. At Chelsea now, for example, they might not get that opportunity unless you're, you know, have they any like a Hudson-Odoi or Phil Foden at Man City?
Yeah.
How many of those are there? You know, how many young Sakas are there? There's probably one at each club, and there's 20 youngsters, 20 to 25 youngsters, all fighting to get a place in the first team.
Juls, did you go through an academy?
No, I didn't. My dad refused. I had a couple of offers, small clubs who were playing in Ligue 1 at the time, but not any of the big French clubs. And my dad was not really keen. He didn't want me to leave the house, the family, because that's the other thing as well. You know, Craig had to leave home at 16. Okay, 16 is a bit older, but some of the boys move at 12. You know, for Frank it was a bit different again, but 12, leaving your parents and your family, okay, you can come back, but 12 is really young, and my dad was never too keen. But if I can answer the question, I go to Ajax every day, and I think the education that you get there, the teaching and the football that you learn and how they develop your qualities must be pretty special if you're already a really talented youngster.
Very serious answers there.
It's interesting. It's interesting, isn't it?
But it's an ego thing sometimes with parents, and I've seen it, particularly in Scotland. You know,
even more now.
Yeah, my son signed for Celtic or Rangers,
right?
And it's not all the time, but it's to do no more than showcase their kids.
Just a status.
As a bit of a status symbol, and you know, I know back then the Scottish football actually demolished or done away with the youth system at one point. So you were training and then you either get in the reserves or the first team. How the hell are you going to do that? They've addressed that now, obviously. How the hell are you going to do that when you're 16?
Yeah. When
all these players in the first team that are not getting a game are playing in the reserves. So yeah, it's a big decision.
Yeah, I had many offers. I turned them down. I wanted to focus on presening. That's what I did.
Nah. I had that problem when I was 20. No, I almost say who cares, but whatever. But when I signed, when I was in Mo and I was in amateur club, I almost signed for Rams, the red and white club, where my father used to play. And when I said to him, because I went for a try there for 3 days and I refused to sign for them because I didn't like what they were offering to me. My father didn't talk to me for like 2 months, and I had to stand up for my ideas of what I wanted to where I wanted to go, how I wanted to go there, but my father wasn't able to understand that. So I signed for Laval a year after, stayed in an amateur club for another year, and for the good. So sometimes you have to, and it's what I say to my lovely book that you should buy and read if you weren't English and not able to speak French and read French, but it's what I explain. That you have your life in hands, and sometimes you have to go against even your family and your father to decide for your own life.
A deep, deep ending to today's
Best club I
Extra
ever
Time.
went to as a youngster was Arsenal.
Right.
Best club.
Why didn't you stay there?
Super organised.
Oh, yeah.
Best club I went to. All the clubs south and north of the border, Arsenal Football Club at the time were unbelievable. And I actually did well there. And I had the chance to sign there as well as Chelsea and others. Pat Rice and Steve Rowley, the scout who's just passed away recently. All these guys. And I don't know why. It came down to a choice between the two.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. But that was a super... And it still is. It's a super organised club behind the scenes. It was fantastic.
That's it then. We are done. We will be back tomorrow to reflect on the Europa League final, which of course will see Eintracht Frankfurt take on Rangers. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.